Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for our weekly track roundup, where I go over what I felt were the best and the worst tracks of the week. As usual, I have to shout out a few things before we get into the tracks. Of course, our Amazon Associates link. If you use that link, you click on that link, it's in the description box, and you live in the US, then you buy something on Amazon, we get kickback from it, does not add to your overall price, helps the segment, helps the show, helps the channel. Thank you for using it. I know you guys use it. Appreciate you guys using it. Use it to buy some stuff you were going to buy anyway, some music you wanted to buy, college books, expensive video and audio equipment, a yacht. If there's a yacht on Amazon, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Okay, and also we have a similar thing going on with the good people over at Turntable Lab, which is a fantastic website where you can get great colorful pressings of albums that I've reviewed and more, as well as high-grade audio equipment, as far as like speakers and turntables and amps and stuff like that, mixers. So those of you who are looking to get into a little bit of record collecting, music collecting, that's a good place to start. They have a lot of information for people who are, kind of first-time buyers and that sort of thing as well. And finally, have to shout out our sponsor, continually sponsoring this segment. I got to thank the good people over at feedbands.com, easily the most unique music subscription service I have seen on the internet, using the power of crowdsourcing to get artists to upload music to the website, users on the website who are casually using the site, checking the music out, but mostly the people who are subscribed to the service, the paid service, or I believe people who are also kind of on a free trial too. You listen to songs from the artists that have independently uploaded their stuff onto the website, and then you vote on what is actually worthwhile, what's great. And then what happens? The stuff that gets the most votes, it gets printed to vinyl. Also, you can either subscribe to sort of the vinyl portion of the service, or you can subscribe to a t-shirt portion of the service, where instead of a vinyl record, you get a t-shirt sent your way, plus, also like a digital download. You can start a free trial over there if you hit up feedbands.com/needledrop. Again, that is feedbands.com/needledrop. Appreciate them again for supporting the segment. Support them, check out their website, see what they have to offer. Again, it is a very unique and interesting service. And that is going to be it for the shout outs. We are going to also, I do want to mention two other things. Adult Swim has a new Dream Pop compilation out that you should check out. Link below. Also, the good people over at PC Music have continued doing their little thing in May where they're just like dropping music every week. They're dropping new PC music every week. And this new Ursula Mythamalia mix that they have out is actually quite excellent, quite unique. And I will leave it at that. Wanted to shout those two things out. Okay, let's get into what I felt were the worst tracks of the week. Oh, God. Let me get a stretch here. Let me get a stretch. Let your boy get a stretch, because this is going to take a lot out of me. Oh. Okay, good. All right, I got a stretch. Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me get that stretch. All right, worst tracks that I heard this week. For one, easily the new XXXTENTACION song, Garrett's Revenge. This is X attempting to what sounds like make some really bad lo-fi bedroom spun like alternative rock or something. I'm not so sure. Not really a fan. It's a bit of a mess. I'm sure the fanboys will love it, though. The fanboys will probably love it. Moving on from there, Travis Scott put out 3 tracks this week. 3 tracks dropped sporadically, and they're available for streaming, for purchase. He put them out over Twitter, and they're all just like lackluster, underwritten B-side cuts. Like the best out of all of them was probably Green and Purple, but A Man was easily the most demo quality out of all of them. like the most demo-ish out of all of the songs. And Butterfly Effect was the most redundant of the three. Again, in my opinion, if you do check out any of these songs, try Green and Purple first. Probably the most hard-hitting and exciting of all the tracks, though I'm not promising the moon and the stars with that cut. It still is painfully underwritten. Kind of seems like Travis is really selling himself short in terms of, what his songs could potentially be. It seems like he is boiling his tracks down, especially with his last record and these three new tracks, to the most simple, basic, and uninteresting elements of his style, the most trademark elements of his style. The cliche ad-libs, the sound of the auto-tune on his voice, the sort of quirks of the instrumental styles that he sort of hops onto. What I love so much about Rodeo is that it showed a lot of versatility for Travis. And his last record, these three new tracks, it seems like he's showing less and less and less of it. And again, distilling his sound down to the most basic elements and just kind of just rolling through one cliche over another. At this point, he's only slightly more versatile than Future, in my opinion, but that's a whole nother conversation, which will start a giant argument down in the comments, so let's not even go there. Moving on from there, Lana Del Rey has a new track out titled Coachella, Woodstock in My Mind, which, excuse me, nose itchy. Okay. Lana Del Rey, new song out, Coachella, Woodstock in My Mind. A lot of music writers have been kind of building this up to be her political statement of sorts. It's a trash song, not just because the beat is horrifically generic, and when will pop stars and pop listeners learn that you don't need an 808 on everything, because it just kind of sounds like some generic, kind of whimsical strings hanging in the background to kind of set a dramatic tone, and the kind of bumping 808 beat that is sort of placed against it doesn't really fit, doesn't really make sense. But the most hilarious part about all of it is what Lana is saying on this track, and that is essentially that, darn it, she can't enjoy her Coachella because she's just too worried about the state of the world. And she worries about the kids at Coachella. She worries about their parents. And I don't know. It's really funny because I feel like in this attempt to write a song that is less self-centered, from Lana Del Rey's perspective, she's only exposed how self-centered she is, because goddamn, there are people who are suffering a lot worse right now than all the kids hanging out at Coachella. Believe me, the kids who are going to Coachella were fined 8 years ago. They've been fined for the past 8 years. I think they're going to be fined for the next 8 years, to tell you the God's honest truth. If you want to worry about anybody, there are people who are refugees who are starving. There are people who are unemployed. There are people who are going into debt because they can't afford their crushing healthcare bills. There are a lot of people to worry about, and that's been the case for a while now. So if you haven't been worrying about the state of the world, please don't start writing songs about how you care so much about it now, because then they turn out like this. Moving on from there, Grizzly Bear has a new song out titled Mourning Sound, which to me is easily one of the most underwhelming singles that the band has ever dropped. This track is so nondescript, in my opinion, to the point where I'm just really not sure what to say about it. It's that lackluster, it's that uneventful, it's that flavorless, it's that style deficient. There's really nothing special about the song, in my opinion. And in these past couple of tracks that I've heard, it seems like the influence of Daniel's side of the songwriting is completely gone, and I'm not exactly sure what his input on this new record is going to be, if there even is going to be any input. I don't know. I guess we will see when we see. Moving on from there, Muse has a new track titled Dig Down, which is as disappointing as a Muse song typically is. Maybe it's actually less obnoxious than some of the more electronic music influenced tracks that the band has tried to pass off on their past couple of records. But still, it's a Muse song, and we'll leave it at that. And those were the worst tracks of the week. Let's move on to the tracks that I thought were worth mentioning, but were, kind of meh. Still, though, you might be into them a little bit more than me. The band Guerilla has come through with a surprisingly just like non-abrasive track titled "The String Game," which has a bit of an 80s kind of experimental post-punky sort of sound to it that I thought was pretty decent. Looking forward to seeing if maybe this brings them in a new direction that's a little more exciting or a little more, I don't know, I guess tolerable. I've always thought their sound was interesting and exciting and entertaining, but only in small bites. Hopefully, maybe whenever they come out with this new record, I like it for the entirety of the album, and we'll leave it at that. Secret Circle, which is the rap outfit featuring Lil Ugly Mane, Antoine's in there too. They have a new track out titled Tube Socks, which is pretty entertaining, kind of tongue-in-cheek, very funny, very grimy, very low-key. Roger Waters, The Last Refugee, very epic ballad from Roger, but considering the subject matter of the song, you'd think that his point would be a bit more direct, or his message here would be a bit clearer, would have a bit more impact, but it just kind of felt like he was kind of stepping around what he wanted to say at some points on the song. Like he wasn't coming through as strongly, just making the statement as he possibly could. I feel like his last song, Deja Vu, was so much bolder of a statement. I feel like this track would have done much better just kind of being on that level of directness, but instead, it does kind of have a bit of an esoteric quality to it, at least to me, that hopefully, doesn't continue into the deeper cuts on this new record of his, because I feel like this new album, I would love to be to the point. I would love to be direct. I would love for him to just kind of really wear his heart, wear his message, wear whatever he's saying on his sleeve, because those to me are some of the best moments in Pink Floyd. And those are also shaping up to be some of the best moments on this forthcoming record, but we'll leave it at that. Elder has a new track out titled Staving Off Truth. If you're into doom metal, stoner metal, slow, heavy, psychedelic sounds, you're going to want to check this track out. Tricot Melon Soda. Definitely look up this band's new record that has just dropped. I believe it's titled 3. If you're looking for some very colorful, creative, angular, and fun math rock. Moving on from there, Little Yachty has a new track titled X-Men featuring Evander Griiim, which is a decent banger, very grimy, good flows on this track, but not much in terms of writing or structure. Just kind of seems like what could have been a throwaway freestyle. Some of the lyrics are kind of underwhelming too, though. Lil Yachty, we all know, never been lyricist extraordinaire, and we'll leave it at that and get into what I felt were the best tracks of the week. Let's kick it off with Katy Perry Swish Swish with Nicki Minaj. Yes, I love the new Katy Perry single. God, is it good. I love the house beat on this thing. I love how sexy and sensual and just dancey this track is. Nicki Minaj's contribution, it is eccentric. It is kind of, it is slightly obnoxious, but when is Nicki Minaj at least not a little, just like a touch obnoxious? It's kind of her personality. It's kind of her style. It's kind of her tone. But I think it works on this track. Easily the best of all the singles that I've heard her drop thus far. Liked it more than the Migos track. Liked it more than Chained to the Rhythm. Felt like the most cohesive, fun, catchy, and physical song she has released thus far from this album cycle, and hoping that I hear more like this coming in the future. Dangermouse has a new track out that's set to be on a forthcoming soundtrack to a film that I'm not going to get too deeply into. Just going to let you know that this new track is titled Chase Me, features Run the Jewels, features Big Boy. It's a banger. It's great. Give it a listen. Moving on from there, Poppy. Oh, God, Poppy. Computer Boy. Brand new single. I love what Poppy is doing with her music right now. I'm so happy about it. I love how Poppy is finally kind of taking some of those elements of her old sound and, just like generally making quality, catchy pop music, but throwing in these lyrics about the internet age, about the digital age, and that is certainly the case on this new track over here. I love what she's doing with her vocals on this track too. I just love how fun and creative and reflective of the now, reflective of internet culture, and reflective of kind of that creative bubble that her character exists within. I love that her music is representing that, is reflecting that so strongly. And I'm looking forward to hearing this new album of hers. Really excited. Give this song a listen. If you listen to any song on this list, give this song a listen. Lou the Human, new track that I'm shouting out in this segment. Loved Lou the Human's last big single. This new one is titled Macklemore. Just as grimy as the last single, just as nasty. Music video kind of the same in terms of tone and visual quality, and kind of the, you know, whole one shot and we're walking along with Lou. You know, he's got a bit of a gimmick going right now, but I think his lyrics, I think his grimy tone, I think his personality come out great on this track. So I'm kind of looking forward to hearing more of that, and hopefully hearing more depth to that in the future. I would hate for him to keep coming out with songs like this over and over and over the course of his music career. I think there could potentially be more to what he's doing. I'm just kind of waiting to hear that. But so far, these two singles that I've heard so far from Lou are sounding great. And finally, Vince Staples' Big Fish, brand new single, slick, sexy, banger, smooth West Coast tune. I love Vince's flow on this track. The hook is okay. The beat is great. The music video is fantastic. He's stuck on a sinking ship, and I think it's one of his better singles. Certainly, I like it more than a lot of the tracks off of his latest EP, and I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing what this new album of his is going to be shaping up like. And that's going to be it. Those are all the songs that I wanted to recommend to you guys. Those are the best tracks of the week, the meh tracks, the worst tracks. Remember, down there in the description, the Amazon link, the Turntable Lab link, and hit up that feedbands.com/needle drop to get that free trial of that monthly music subscription service. Try out that website, try out that platform, get involved in the community over there, and start, like, you know, democratically deciding what music is worth putting to vinyl and what music isn't. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. That was the weekly track roundup. Thank you for watching. You're the best. I'll catch you guys in the next video forever.